I saw a brilliant light outside the window and wanted to go towards it. But something told me that couldn't be the way. Where was the tunnel everyone talks about? I began drifting through the hospital hallways, searching for a way out. Welcome to Let's Lift the Veil. If these testimonies touch you, help us spread the word. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Every interaction helps these extraordinary voices be heard by as many people as possible. Keep sharing the light. Stay curious. Stay open. Let's lift the veil together. After a suicide attempt by overdose, on July 23, 2019, I remained unconscious for over 18 hours. My body suffered a cardiac arrest, seizures, anoxic brain injury, and complete kidney failure. I was in critical condition and underwent dialysis for several weeks. But that was only the beginning of what would become a life-altering journey on the other side. I left my body and floated to the ceiling of a hospital room. Below me, I saw a young woman lying in a bed, alone and hooked up to machines. I felt a deep sadness for her, without realizing she was me. I wondered what could have possibly brought her to such a place. Everything around her was bathed in a blinding, radiant white light. I saw a brilliant light outside the window and wanted to go towards it. But something told me that couldn't be the way. Where was the tunnel everyone talks about? I began drifting through the hospital hallways, searching for a way out. I passed by my own room again where doctors were rushing in, but none of that interested me. I didn't want to go back. I wanted to leave. Suddenly, I was pulled into a tunnel at incredible speed, and then found myself completely alone in a pitch-black space, like a silent cave. I couldn't see anything, but I felt a presence, a powerful consciousness, from God or Source. It wasn't a figure. It was pure awareness, and I could communicate with it telepathically. I said, "I don't want to go back to Earth. It's too hard." It responded,
"That's a shame, because your life is just about to begin."
I told it I didn't believe that at all. Then it reminded me that I had chosen this life with all its hardships, so I could help others heal, rise, and understand. Then I pushed back. I took on too much and I can't handle it. It acknowledged it had concerns about my original plan, but reminded me that I had free will, and I told it I was ready to quit. Then I was offered a choice: start over from scratch, but it would mean losing all memory and reliving the first years of life again. I found that deeply unfair, but it made the decision harder. I felt manipulated into coming back, so I laid out my terms. I demand that my depression and eating disorder be removed. Otherwise, nothing will change. It agreed.
Okay, those will be gone, but it will take a few years to fully recover from what you've just experienced.
Then I was shown a vision of my future self. Vibrant, aligned with my life's mission, speaking to and touching the lives of others. A sort of mini-Oprah, he said. Not rich but fulfilled, free and impactful. Still, I wanted more, like material comfort, influence, and meaningful purpose. God reminded me that my soul didn't originally care about any of that. But I insisted. I'm not going back unless this life inspires others, brings healing, and allows me to share my light. God promised it would. He said I would never want to die again. I said, then prove it. I returned to my body furious, and for months I was consumed by anger. I believed my twin flame had abandoned me. I went through a psychotic episode and lashed out at someone who didn't deserve it. I still carry that regret. But in facing my shadows, I learned the essence of unconditional love through her. In time I experienced what felt like a miraculous recovery from 20 years of a severe eating disorder. It was like I'd woken up as a completely different person, or maybe, finally as myself. I also began having powerful spiritual experiences. I connected with the soul of my late grandmother, and later with my father after he passed away. One day during a profound spiritual awakening, I felt my father's presence enter me. He told me that my mission on earth was to serve. I shared this with my mother, and she confirmed he had told her the same thing years before. He just hadn't told me until now. Today, I no longer fear the light or the darkness. I know my mission. I've learned what gratitude truly means, how to raise my vibration, and how to connect with my soul even outside the physical form. Sometimes I still feel cramped, like a soul too large for this human body, but I'm here, and this time it's a conscious choice. My life behind the veil. When I reflect on my near-death experience, I realize it changed far more than just my understanding of life or death. It wasn't just a moment outside of my body, it was a deep spiritual awakening. The experience itself was both painful and comforting, but what followed has been even more transformative. At first, I felt completely lost, disconnected from my body, my life, and even my desire to stay on this earth. But coming back changed everything. I became highly sensitive to energy, to sound, and to subtle spiritual dimensions. It's hard to talk about sometimes, especially because people often shut down when they hear the word suicide. That's why I used to avoid sharing it. But doing that felt dishonest to my soul. Since that moment, I've had lucid dreams, intense flashbacks, and even spiritual awakenings. Like the time my deceased father spoke to me telepathically. He told me, "Your mission is to serve." I later found out that was something he told my mother when he was still alive. I'm not the same person I was. My values have shifted, and I now care for my body not out of fear or control, but out of love and respect for my soul. My eating disorder vanished. I stopped repeating self-destructive patterns. I no longer want to escape life, I want to live it fully. Today I live with expanded awareness, intuitive insights I can't always explain, and a desire to help others reconnect with themselves. I'm not here to be perfect, I'm here to be real. And if my story can help even one person feel less alone, then everything I went through was worth it. Thank you for listening to this near-death experience. If this story moved you, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing it. It's a small action for you, but it means the world to this growing channel. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next journey beyond the veil. Every click helps us give voice to these powerful stories. Take care of yourself and those you love. Until next time, keep sharing the light. Stay curious, stay open. Let's lift the veil together.